I will introduce myself, Rob Hubbard. I'm a retired moderator from the town of Templeton and soon to be retired city planner in the city of Gardner. After that, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll go over the rules quickly so that everyone knows how this thing is going to go down. I believe the candidates have all received copies ahead of time, so it won't be a surprise to any of them. But just so that everybody in the audience knows, there'll be a chance for each of the candidates to give an opening statement, 4 minutes. And we have a very serious timer in the room, which is going to let everybody know who's speaking, how much time they have remaining. There'll be a countdown, so everybody will, standing up here, will know. After the opening remarks and introductions, I will ask a set of 4 questions. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to respond to the questions. The questions come out of Julie Farrell and I putting our heads together and trying to come up with some pertinent questions. Julie is on the Templeton Board of Selectmen. If a candidate mentions another candidate specifically in the answer, the candidate who's mentioned will get 30 seconds to respond if there was a direct answer sought or something like that. Once we go through that, then we have questions from the audience. People have submitted questions. They're put in here. I'm going to select 4 at random, and we'll basically go through the same drill that we did with the first set of 4 questions. And we'll rotate the order in which the candidates respond to the questions, so that there won't be somebody always going first and somebody always going last. And lastly, there will be an opportunity for closing remarks, which will be about 2 minutes. And if this schedule is correct, we'll be out of here at 8:28. The 3 candidates, I think most of you know them. It's not for me to introduce you and give you details about them, but incumbent Rep. Denise Andrews, the Democrat from Orange, challenges Susanna Whips Lee, Republican from Athol and Chairman of the Athol Board of Selectmen, and Rick Schober, Jr., an independent from the town of Templeton. The opening remarks for 4 minutes we will do in alphabetical order, which means Rep. Andrews will be able to go first, and when we do the closing statements, we'll do them in the reverse order. So, Rep. Andrews.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be back here in Templeton. Since the last time I was here in Templeton at the Forum, we've enjoyed wonderful events for the 250th. We've been in the parade, the fairs, and the gala ball this Saturday, and I must say, Templeton really knows how to throw some good parties and celebrate 250. So well done, and congratulations and happy birthday. I'd also like to thank those who planned and all who came out tonight. These forums are excellent for democracy and for our community. As a state representative for the 2nd Franklin District, it is an honor and a blessing to serve an area and people that I love and respect. In the same way as many of you, I am deeply concerned about the state of our communities and our country. I first stepped into public service because we are in need of people working together to rebuild our country, one life, one family, one business, and one community at a time. I believe that we must together step up and improve our communities and governance by both strengthening our long-standing fundamentals and evolving and innovating in order to bring new capacity, compassion, and solutions to our communities. Because of this, my areas of focus while serving in the Massachusetts House of Representatives have been and will continue to be good jobs and wise economic development, excellent constituent services, strong fiscal stewardship, best in the world public education, senior services, veteran services, youth engagement, the environment, and good leadership that delivers the results we need. Bringing broad, comprehensive, effective, and thoughtful work across all these critical areas is my mission and my responsibility as your state representative. Since our redistricting was announced, I have continued to serve the 6 towns of the district, while diligently going to school and building relationships with the 7 new towns of the new district. I have attended town meetings, select board meetings, read the town reports, met with school superintendents, talked with small business owners, attended events, and talked with many of you. I've also connected with State Representative Ann Goby, State Senators Brewer, Rosenberg, and Canderas, and also U.S. Congressman John Olver, to get their perspective on how to best serve the new towns of the new district. I am excited about the potential of our new district and the benefits and synergies that together we can create. On a personal level, I respect all people. I have strong values, ethics, integrity, compassion, and work ethic. My character was formed right here in Western Mass. I am a native of Orange with family roots dating back to 1635. I'm the youngest daughter of Bob and Patty Andrews, and have some Henshaw cousins in Templeton. My partner of 28 years and I reside at Lake Mattawa in Orange. I graduated from Mahar and graduated from UMass with a chemical engineering degree, and from University of Massachusetts, and then a master's degree from Xavier University in Ohio. Through my business experience, 25 years at Procter & Gamble and 7 as a small business owner, and a year and a half in the legislature, I have developed skills in complex problem solving, building collaborative solutions, and delivering results that count. My personal mantra is, to whom much is given, much is required. I know that I have been richly blessed, and I hold myself to the highest standard of serving the greater good and doing my very best in all moments. As State Representative of the 2nd Franklin District, I want to continue the good work that we have underway and expand this work to incorporate the needs and desires of our new towns. So I am asking for your support and partnership and your vote on November 6th, so that together we can continue to make progress for all our families and our communities. Thank you.
You did that well, right on time. The next speaker, except I'm going to have to retrieve my script here, or else I'll be in trouble. The next speaker will be Ms. Lee.
First, I'd like to say thank you to the people who put this together this evening. Bev and Julie, thank you very much. Also, since President Obama started his last debate with it, I am going to say happy anniversary to my husband. I don't have a prepared script. I just basically wanted to come up here and introduce myself to you all and give you a little information about me. I'm a lifelong resident of the town of Athol, Mass. My parents have raised me to believe in volunteerism and community. And for the last several decades of my life, I've spent giving time to my community and volunteering and trying to make the community a better place to live. I'm the chairman of the Athol Board of Selectmen, and I've been on the Selectmen for 6 years. I have a lot of knowledge with municipal budgets and town operations, which will help me when I'm in the State House to understand what our communities are going through and what struggles we have. I'm the president of the Athol Historical Society. I have been for the last 10 years. I'm the past president and life member of the Friends of the Athol Council on Aging. I spent a great deal of time volunteering for the elders in our community. One of the things I'm most proud of is I'm one of the owners of Whips Incorporated. It's a family business that in the last 4 years, during some of the most difficult economic times our country has seen, has doubled its production space and more than doubled the number of full-time employees that we have. I'm concerned about Massachusetts, and I'm concerned about the job situation, actually the lack of job situation. We, as an example, a woman with a degree from UMass and Xavier University found it so hard to find a job in Massachusetts, she traveled to New Jersey to find a second job. I don't think that's right. We need to bring jobs to Massachusetts, and we need to work hard together to do that. In August, there was an increase in the amount of unemployment in the state of Massachusetts. There was a bit of a rise in jobs, and that was 2,500 state employees, 1,300 federal level employees, and the loss of 400 municipal jobs. Our state government is getting bigger, our federal government is getting bigger, to the detriment of our communities. We need to make sure more funds come back to our municipalities. I want to go to the State House to work because I can work with everyone. I'm an effective speaker, not right now because I'm nervous, but I can get my point across when I need to. One of the things I pride myself on the most is being able to work with everybody, being able to put myself in other people's shoes, and being able to understand the struggles of people in the state. I want to work for the people of this community. This isn't my ego. This isn't about a job. I have a great job right now. This is about me affording opportunities to the other people in my district. And that's why I'm willing to take a sacrifice, leave my full-time job with my family, and go to work for you. One thing that the Democrats often preach is inclusion and diversity. Well, when you look at the Massachusetts State House, when 20% of the members are Republicans and 80% are Democrats, that's not much inclusion and that's not much diversity. And we need to bring new ideas to Beacon Hill, and that's what I intend to do. I want to look after your money. The taxpayers give so much to this Commonwealth and not, ooh, I'm sorry, thank you, I wasn't paying attention. Thank you.
Rick, you're next.
Well, again, I'd like to thank everybody for showing up. I'm Rick Schober, the independent candidate in the race. The last few years have been especially difficult for working-class families in the towns that make up the new 2nd Franklin District. Personally, I've been struggling to make ends meet lately, and I've seen too many of my friends and neighbors going through the same thing. Those of us who are lucky enough to have full-time jobs are still living paycheck to paycheck. There's no such thing as job security anymore. The longer we stay in our homes, the more their values drop. And those of us who have kids know firsthand the troubles that our public schools are facing with teacher and staff layoffs, program cuts, and outdated facilities. Big changes are needed if the towns and the people of this district are going to survive. I'm running as an independent, which means that if elected, I won't be pressured to vote along party lines. I'll have the freedom to cross party lines and make decisions on legislation and how our tax dollars are spent that will be in the best interest of all the residents of the district. Also, unlike the other two candidates, I think I'm a good cross-section of the people of this district. I consider myself working class, and I share the same needs and concerns of the residents of this predominantly working class district. The other two candidates are both very successful business owners in private life, and I think that their positions in the corporate world have essentially isolated them from some of the real experiences that many of us have to face every day. Good or bad, the future of this region is going to have a big impact on the futures of my 4 daughters. And when you think about it, the children of this district are the future of the district. They deserve the best opportunities, both economic and educational, that we can provide for them. And that's why I'm running for state representative.
Okay, we'll now go on to some questions that I have here. The first question will be asked the responses will be given Ms. Lee first, Rick Schober second, and Denise Andrews, Rep. Andrews will be third. And that question, rather broad, but I think one that everybody is thinking about is, what do you believe the greatest challenges facing the 2nd Franklin District, and what do you think the greatest opportunities? And although we do have somebody here from Belchertown, most of the folks I think are from this side of the district, so you might want to focus your answer on this side of the district when you look at the challenges and the opportunities.
And I want to clarify, my friend isn't from Belchertown, he's from Hong Kong, but he has traveled the furthest tonight. Obviously, one of the things facing the district right now is our lack of jobs, our lack of quality, good-paying jobs for the people in this area. We have record-high unemployment rates as well as underemployment rates. We have skyrocketing foreclosure rates. We need to get people back to work. We need to make a business-friendly atmosphere where businesses can come out to 2nd Franklin District and set up and thrive. Business not only gives people, Ronald Reagan said the best social program is a job. He was exactly right. But jobs just don't give you a paycheck. They give you hope. They give you pride. They give you a level of self-respect. Jobs will allow for the protection of our people through more payment in our property taxes, which also allows for more public safety, allows for better education. Jobs are the main answer to all of the problems in this area. We have the social ills that come along with unemployment. We have, towns that are struggling with their municipal budgets. If we can increase the tax base and get more people paying into the coffers, we have more police officers, we have better schools, we have better infrastructure. I know especially one of the things that people are concerned about in Templeton is infrastructure, and you've had numerous water breaks recently, and we need to get businesses in this area to pay more taxes to help with the paying for this municipal infrastructure that is so deficient in this area. Thank you.
You see, Mr. Schober, you're next. And the question about challenges and opportunities in the 2nd Franklin.
Yep. Well, I can't argue with Susanna. The lack of jobs in this region is probably the #1 concern of its residents. Now, each year the state awards special interest tax breaks to businesses to encourage economic development. But in the past, most of those funds have gone to companies that really didn't need it, and also in regions that didn't need it. In the past, companies like Fidelity have received millions in tax breaks, and yet over the last 6 years, their Massachusetts workforce has been reduced by 4,000. What we need to do is really encourage the state to give these tax incentives to companies that commit to developing jobs in economically depressed areas like the towns within the new 2nd Franklin District. There are also other things that could be done to improve the number of jobs in the region. One of those is just simply raising the minimum wage from $8 to $9 an hour. That would put $2,000 of before-tax income into the pockets of people who work full-time minimum wage jobs, and studies have shown that people with low to moderate income tend to do most of their shopping locally. So that would bring more business into local businesses and also encourage hiring. Again, I can't argue with the fact that jobs, economic development are the most important issues facing the region.
Rep. Andrews.
Clearly, it's jobs and smart economic growth. To get at that, I spent 3 hours today with 3 other people looking at a project at the end of the day that will transform downtown Athol and the region. It'll be over $100 million, and we'll probably have 20 stakeholders to put that deal together. But it's putting old properties in place strategically to repurpose them and to have them be a catalyst for change in the region. So doing that kind of work is important. Talking about jobs and having the vision is one thing. Spending time is where the work gets done. Prioritizing means I put time every week in economic development, which is my top priority and has been since I've been serving. Some areas that we're focused on is what do the small businesses need to stay successful? How do we attract tourism? And here in Templeton, some of the local business owners have some wonderful marketing programs to bring tourism in. And if we can scale those across the district, that would be helpful. Dialing up our agricultural investment. The Hunt Farm put on $20,000 in grants on solar panels on their farm. That'll cut operating expenses. Apple Farm, Red Apple Farm has done the same. So how to help small businesses stay successful. Home businesses, having internet access for people to do cottage industry, and attracting new investment, whether it's market basket, light manufacturing, or green technology. And then, of course, getting investors to care about this. People here have the dreams. The question is, do we have the will, and will we go for it? And we do have to keep education strong. Money into Mount Wachusett, GCC, our high schools will build the workforce to get those jobs, to feed the factories, to feed the small businesses, and keep vibrant families.
Okay. The next question, which will be in the order of Mr. Schober, Rep. Andrews, and Chairperson Lee. Where are we? Okay. We talked about the greatest challenges being economic development, and some of you gave specific examples of what you would do to promote economic development and create jobs. I would just, because it's the most important issue, I would like to hear you each speak a little bit more specifically and talk about, not just the benefit of creating jobs, but what actions you would take in the legislature, what you would support in order to achieve the goal of creating more jobs.
Okay, well, I already mentioned an increase of $1 an hour in the minimum wage would help promote more local business activity. Another thing that could be done to create more jobs would be to redefine the legal term of an exempt employee. Right now, a lot of high-tech and administrative workers are considered exempt from overtime pay, meaning that unlike non-exempt workers who work in excess of 40 hours a week, they earn time and a half. I would propose that exempt employees only include individuals who have a significant ownership stake in their companies or whose compensation is directly tied to the financial performance of the company. In these difficult economic times, a lot of workers, out of fear of losing their jobs, are putting in unpaid overtime. And for every 4 employees putting in 50-hour weeks, that's actually taking away a full-time job from a 5th employee. So those are 2 specific things that could be done to, spur jobs in the region.
Rep. Andrews.
As we all know, this is a tough nut to crack. We had vibrant communities in the early 70s, and when manufacturing started to be incentivized to move out of the country or our energy costs got ahead of us in New England, it really hurt many of our towns. Before I even got sworn in, I met with Congressman Over to say, John, how do we grow our economy? John did Northern Tier Development. I've asked him to be a consultant as he retires to continue that work. Part of that work is the East-West Rail and having tourism in, commuters out. That currently is 3rd on the books, 15 years away, and I've been working since I got sworn in to cut that to 7. The other areas, working with John's office, we've put together a 10-year economic development plan. It will take time. And what we're focusing on is the cluster development in the region. The clusters of business are tourism, agriculture, light manufacturing, green technology, creative and performing arts. And getting specific pieces of the puzzle and building those out. Figuring out how we leverage grant money, federal money, state money, and have a private-public mix. So that's not public funded, but private skills help drive the public money to get a return on investment for the public citizens with sustainable models that work. The Jim White bill on regional economic money's coming in as a gateway region. Him and I have talked. It makes sense. We'll file that bill. And the other thing is on bonds and budget and the money line items as they come forward at the State House. How do we develop park and ride in Athol and turn that into a depot station over time? And how do we get energy credits for hydro, which we have in the district, wind and solar, again to help operational costs get cut for small businesses and grow a sustainable model?
Thank you. I will say that I do not favor an increase in minimum wage. In this area, there are many, many people who hire seasonal help. It does not help our local businesses in raising the minimum wage because we've got people who scoop ice cream, teenagers. What we're going to do in increasing the minimum wage is increase the number of employers who pay their employees under the table, and we don't want to do that. I do believe in fair wage, but I also believe there are some $8 jobs out there that are terrific for teenagers, and I actually remember $3 an hour work at the Pizza House for many years when I was in high school. Depending on John Olver, he's spent decades in the U.S. Congress, and things have gotten really bad here. So it's about time we look to ourselves to help, because honestly, John Olver hasn't helped us in decades. We wouldn't be in this mess right now if we had some help. Thanks, I gotta get my time. I do believe in the tax increment financing. WIPS Incorporated had a small TIF given to us when we expanded our business 4 years ago. We were given a 5-year plan. In 1 year, we exceeded the number of employees we were supposed to have in 5 years, and we exceeded all of the requirements of the TIF in the first 18 months rather than waiting 5 years. We need to not use state money and not use the taxpayer money and allow business to do what they do and put people to work. Thank you.
The next question, the order will be Rep. Andrews, Chairperson Lee, and Mr.